Hi, my name is Cayla Sanchez, and I will be presenting my thesis on sex differences in olfaction. So to start off, I'm going to talk about some sex differences. Females tend to outperform males on tests of olfactory performance. Most differences found between sexes are in odor detection, identification, and memory. Toulouse and Vachid, which was reviewed in Dottie and Cameron in 2009, found that females presented greater sensitivity when presented with odors such as camphor. This led to the findings of females having greater sensitivity to perceptible concentration in water. Another study done by Kane in 1982 found greater female performance on tests of identification, with 92.5% of women outperforming the men. Participants were asked to make predictions whether or not they thought males or females would have a higher performance rate. Estimates from both female and male participants were closely related, meaning that they both anticipated for females to be superior when identifying odors. The study found that females could identify 58 out of the 80 odors, and males could identify 51 out of the 80. This research led to the finding that females are better at identifying odors than males. So in our study, we had 188 undergraduate students, faculty, and staff members at Carthage participate in the study. There were 118 females and 70 males, ranging from the ages of 18 to 71. All data was self-reported. Participants were instructed to take a daily survey, monitoring their daily symptoms via the Stay Safe Carthage daily check-in. Participants also assessed some demographic questions on a questionnaire. Students, faculty, and staff were given an 8-item Sensonic smell test from Sensonics International and also obtained a 3-item kit. Participants consented to their participation in the study. Participants were instructed to then scratch and sniff the brown region on the 8-item Sensonic smell test for odors 1 through 8, where they then were to choose the option which the odor smelt most like. The 3-item kit instructed participants to sniff each vial and then to choose which odor they thought it smelt most like as well. They then reported their data on a Google form for each odor and also reported their intensity and pleasantness ratings on a scale of 1 being extremely weak to 9 being very strong. So the results. In order to detect if sex had an effect on intensity ratings of odors and the ability to identify odors, t-tests were run. This was done to see if the effects of sex on sense of smell, specifically focusing on females, and whether or not their sense of smell is better than males. The first graph here shows the average intensity ratings across 8 odors by sex. An independent samples t-test was ran and showed how sex had no effect on intensity ratings with a p-value of 0.78. Even though female participants produced a higher result, averaging around 6.95, and compared to males with an average of 6.731. The second graph here shows the average number of correct odor identification by sex. An independent samples t-test presented no significant relationship between sex and average correct by odor, with a p-value of 0.94, even though female participants did produce a higher result, being 7.47 compared to the male participants around 7.28. So sex did not have an effect on odor performance. Males and females had similar scores for intensity ratings and odor identification, providing evidence that it was not significant. Therefore, our hypothesis was not supported. Past research done by Moen et al. In 2020 found similar results. The olfactory dysfunction was essentially the same in both sexes. It has also been found that sex differences tend to be less pronounced in young people, perhaps due to a ceiling effect because their sense of smell is good already. Dottie and Cameron in 2009 suggested the female superiority is observed in olfactory processing. Could be a result from an interaction between early endocrine-related influences on areas responsible for smell perception in the brain and hormonal mechanisms affecting olfactory perception in adult life. And then these are my references.